Time for the Burning River Sportscast. The Cleveland Browns are strolling into summer with a bevy of young men who have yet to learn what it feels like to be a Brown. Welcome to Cleveland. Don't worry, young lads. The sheen and shine of the NFL draft will wear off soon, and you'll be scratching your heads trying to figure out how you lost to a 1-11 football team despite your 3-score lead in the fourth quarter. Cavs GM Kobe Altman seems content to run it back for next year and has indicated no sweeping changes to the current makeup of the team or coaching staff after a dismal playoff showing. And the Guardians seem content to bob near 500, waiting on summer because we all know we're a warm weather ball club. Jump on in, asshats. The offseason hell ride continues next on the Burning River Sportscast. Y'all remember that playoffs in 2023? Hell yeah, I threw that bitch. And I just did my most best impression of just being a fat guy that loves ham.
Different breed of dog, I guess you would say. And no, your logo's ass.
Your logo's ass, and it looks like it goes in an ass.
Yeah. The old bong neck. Nice.
But that woman got buried twice, bro.
Bro, I want a safety coffin.
It kind of looks like something I would put on my hand and fist you with, so you might lose points there. But that being said, pretty cool.
Still counts.
Welcome into a very special remote pod edition of the Burning River Sportscast presented by Tap In Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, separated by at least 778 aeronautical miles from the man who voiced the original Roadrunner and swims in khakis, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, tell our friends where they can find the juiciest, sexiest, most moist Browns pod on the webs.
Meet. You can find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm talking Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Castro, Good Pods, and so many more.
So many more.
So, Kenny, I typically start this thing off with a good news story from this past week, but guess what? I'm on vacation in the Outer Banks, and I don't give a shit. So I don't got a news story for you. We'll just talk about me being in the Outer Banks, I guess.
You're in the Outer Banks, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been to the Inner Banks?
I didn't know they existed. I guess I'll have to search for them.
Yeah, see if when you go into town, see if you can find the Inner Banks. Just ask everybody you see out there, just where's the Inner Banks?
Excuse me, we've been to the Outer Banks. Have you seen?
I think
we passed the Inner Banks.
The Inner Banks were.
No, but on a bright note, I get to enjoy lots of cervezas. That's what we call it when we're on vacation.
Is that even an Outer Banks thing? I'm pretty sure that's Mexican
it's just vacation beer. Thing.
Oh,
vacation thing. Yeah.
You're like toes in the sand.
Yeah, ass in the water, toes in my hand.
Who all you there with?
It's like a big family event. So if anybody doesn't know me, I have a really, really big family. So I have 4 siblings that are here with me, their entire families. So that's, let's see, including me, 5 siblings, 3 spouses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kids, and my mother. We're all here.
God bless your mother. How's my favorite Ronnie sister look in her bikini this time of year?
I'm not answering that.
Tell her I said hi.
I will not tell her anything.
How's the baby enjoying the Outer Banks?
It's been fun with the baby. It's her first time to do a lot of this stuff. First time at the beach. We put her toes in the water, unfazed. It's like 40 degrees. The water.
Nice.
She was just like, and then we put her in the pool. It's her first time in the pool. She loves the pool, kind of splashing around, swimming around, whatever, So that was a lot of fun. She's been really enjoying the pool.
Do you need a lifeguard?
You're a certified lifeguard.
I was a certified lifeguard.
You put a kid's nose back in place when he broke it.
That's true. Yeah. That's actually that happened twice.
Yeah, the funny thing with my not noses being broken. Funny thing with my daughter swimming though is we have like the floaty for her that you just stick her in. She's supposed to just like bob around the pool. She's a very small. Yeah. She's a very small baby though. So we set her in it, and she's bobbing around for a minute, and she got her arms up top, and she's okay. And then all of a sudden, she does one of these. She's like sitting upright, and then she goes. So, I mean, when that happens, it gets a little sketchy. But they
say that's how you're supposed to teach infants to swim, right? You just throw them in.
Yeah. Well, she starts swim lessons in June, so.
Yeah, you just throw them in. That way, if they ever fall into the pool and it's unattended, they can at least get their mouth out of the water.
Right, that's the goal. So
yeah,
but enough about my vacation. Before we get into all of the good stuff on today's episode, let's start by reminding everybody that we have a giveaway going on.
We do
nearly as much. Yeah, there's not nearly as much traction as I thought there would be on this thing. We're giving away a signed Nick Chubb jersey, and I shouldn't say nobody, quite a few people care, but not as many people as I thought. I thought this thing would be signing up like gangbusters.
Do you think people are just ready for Nick Chubb to be traded?
They finally accepted what we said, and they're like, these guys are right. He's going to be gone.
They've given up on the Nick Chubb jersey. They're like, I guess I'll get a Deshaun one. He'll be here a few years.
Everybody was so against it, and now they're like, well, I guess we have him for at least 6 years. So
I guess we got the wrong jersey for giveaway then.
Yeah. No, but seriously, get signed up for the Nick jersey. Nick jersey.
The Nick jersey.
Jersey giveaway. It is signed by Batman. What's up?
How do I sign up for the Nick Chubb giveaway?
All you got to do is click the link in the show notes or on whatever social media page you go to of ours. Go to our bio. There's a link to our link tree. Go there, click on the first link, and it's to sign up for the giveaway. Once you subscribe to us on YouTube, you'll unlock about 20 other options to earn bonus entries into the giveaway.
And when do we give this thing away?
Well, the entry period runs through Memorial Day. So you've got until then to get entered. After that, it closes, and we will announce the winner within 1 week.
The official, unofficial start to summer. The official, unofficial, official. The unofficial, official, unofficial start to summer.
The Nick Chubb
Memorial
jersey
Day.
giveaway.
For the Nick Chubb jersey giveaway.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got did you ever watch the old Tom Green show? We got like a satellite delay going on, like of a quarter second, just not to throw us off. So this will be fun.
I'm doing fine. You're an idiot.
All right, let's do this pod.
So, and while you guys are at it, signing up for the Nick Chubb jersey giveaway, why don't you check out our merchandise at www.thetapinmedia.com/shop.
How come you didn't bring any merchandise to vacation with you?
I've got plenty, but I decided to wear this because I'm on vacation.
But I mean, you didn't even put it up like in the background, or like put a hat on the table, or flag with you. Any of the dozens of cool things that we have.
Bro, I told you I'm on vacation. I don't give a shit.
You left your mug for ants here.
What is that? What is that? A mug for ants? Listen, they sent me that mug. It's the worst mug of all times.
It's not. It's just a camping mug. It's supposed to be small. I tried to give it to you, but it doesn't work like that.
We should have made that work.
Now that would have been a good trick.
Let's get into it. It's time for the Burning River Rundown.
Burning River Rundown.
All right, so I guess we'll start this thing off with happy birthday, Kevin Stefanik?
Can we say Stefanski on his birthday? Is it the one day a year we'll give him the shred of respect back?
All right. Happy birthday, Kevin Stefanski.
Feliz cumpleaños. Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah. I know we give him a bunch of shit, but it is his birthday. It is your birthday. So.
It is your birthday. It is his birthday. It is your birthday. Yeah, look, I don't wish for Kevin Stefanik to be the worst coach ever. He just sometimes is.
It happens to be.
I would love nothing else for Kevin Stefanik to be the guy that leads us to our first divisional championship in 30 years, to be the guy that leads the Cleveland Browns to the Super Bowl and wins a Lombardi trophy. I just have my reservations.
You don't think it'll happen?
I know it won't happen. Not while he's here. But
right.
Happy birthday anyway, bro.
Regardless.
He seems like a nice enough guy. Like I'd have a beer with him, Fool me once. Shame on me. Fool me. You can't get fooled again.
You won't ever fool me one more time. Next up, we got Juan Thornhill. Got a Browns tattoo when he came to town. And now, listen, I had something to say about this because this got blown up all over social media and everybody was like, oh my gosh, you got a Browns tattoo. This is fantastic. And I was like, so what? Like, did you see the tattoo? Did you see the tattoo?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Brownie. It's Brownie the elf. Yeah.
What's your problem with it?
Listen, here's the deal. This is my problem with it. Do you see the other side of his NFL shield? It has the Kansas City Chiefs arrowhead on it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is a cool tattoo.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the his actual tattoo, but
and he went with the Brownie elf.
That's true. Brownie the elf is dope, but no, everybody blew it up like it was this big thing. Like, oh, he's so dedicated to the Browns, but it's like, no, he's just getting the teams that he's played for tattooed on him.
Well, yeah, in case you don't have your resume with you, someone's like, what do you do? You're like,
yeah,
Super Bowl champion, Browns, last place division.
There.
He's the illustrated man. I don't know what your problem is with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I kept seeing everybody post it, and I was like, I guess that's okay. I don't know.
Look. I think it's cool. I think it endears him to fans. I think the thing that was cool was that he got Brownie Elf. He could have got the Browns shield, the helmet, the logo, any others, but he got the elf. That shows he gets us. Okay,
I guess.
In general, I don't recommend anybody getting a tattoo of their employer on their body, especially one where you probably won't live there very long. I mean, how long was Troy?
That's my next tattoo.
How long was Troy Hill here for?
Yeah, that's my next tattoo.
JJ3.
Full sleeve of my employer.
Just get your resume just totally emblazoned on your arm.
Yeah, you're right. I won't do my employer. I'll just get my whole resume.
Although, actually, all of your logos of your employer would probably be cool because it's just like random manufacturing companies that no one would know what they are.
Why do you have so many corporate logos on you? Why not?
I'm the illustrated man.
Next up here, Anthony Walker participated in a small business impact showcase in partnership with Jumpstart. So this thing was pretty cool. I just wanted to point this out because, Anthony Walker owns his own business. So they brought him in to be a judge of the pitch competition. And it's just kind of a cool story because it's always good to see the guys doing things in the community and kind of giving back to programs like this. So I think we should probably make him. Should we?
Yeah.
Should we make him? Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna make him.
He's probably worthy of being the Burning River Sportscast Dog of the Week, right?
Dog of the Week.
He only gets a half a sounder, but because it wasn't in the notes. But yeah, I mean that seems worthy, right?
Because we're still in limbo. We're still in limbo on Perry on Winfrey, so he only gets half a sounder.
Right. Yeah. But no, that's cool. I mean, look, we all hope Anthony Walker comes back and plays really well this year. But always good to see the guys in the community for sure.
Yep. Next up here, the Browns signed safety Roddy McLeod. How do you say that? McLeod. That's what I would have guessed. But seriously, though, it's a great signing here because it brings a veteran presence to the DB's room. Not that they don't have any already.
A veteran presence.
Another one to the room.
That played under Jim Shorts.
Jim Shorts. I'm so excited to see Jim Shorts. Do you think Jim Schwartz will run out there in our Jim Schwartz this year?
If he doesn't, I'll punch him. Donkey punch.
Wow. We're definitely not getting press passes now. You've just threatened a coach.
All right. I'm sorry. There was no violence intended. It was a joke. Seriously, though, I really love this, the Rodney McLeod signing. This is, I was more excited about this signing than probably all their draft picks. Because this dude really? Can eat. Yeah. So I'm pretty stoked.
Keep eating.
Yeah. He's going to do something this year.
Well, if you like the Rodney McLeod signing, how do you feel about the Chase Young rumors going around right now?
Turds.
Wow.
First off, I think many of the rumors are unsubstantiated. Erroneous on both counts. I think they're unsubstantiated. Here's the other thing. The Commandos were more than willing to part ways with this guy. He was kind of good out of the gate, but like, look, I think if you bring this guy in at this point, I think he's Jadeveon Clowney with a few more miles to play. I don't know that, like,
I don't think so.
Is he a game changer? Look, I like Chase Young. I like the fact that he's an Ohio State guy. I thought he was great there, but I don't know that his game and his athleticism totally translated to the next level. He's all show, no go. Like, he could flex and scare you. And you'd be like, go. But I don't think he's actually hurting anybody out there.
I don't think you're hurting anybody anywhere. Here's the deal.
Erroneous.
Listen, I actually really like this. I agree with the first part of what you said. I think a lot of the rumors are unsubstantiated. I really don't think that there's anything to this. But if there was, I like the idea of bringing Chase Young in. I think that he's still, I don't know why you said more miles. He's still young. He's coming off his rookie contract.
No, I mean, he has more miles to go than Jadeveon. Jadeveon's older.
Oh,
I mean, he has less tread on the tires, you know.
Okay. Well, then that's fair. But my thing is, he plays for freaking Washington.
True.
And I think that if you get to change of scenery, I think that Chase Young still has a lot left to give to a ball club. And I think if he comes here and he's not the focus of the defensive line, I like his chances. So
I just think that he's a bigger wild card than people think, and I think that for him to come in with the acclaim that he came in with, the hope that he came in with for that ball club, with now a new ownership group, and kind of setting sails for sunnier skies, that they were more than willing to part with this guy. I don't know. It just screams red flag at me.
All right. So far, we both like Rodney McLeod. We disagree on Chase Young. How do you feel about the Cordero Patterson rumors that just popped up today?
How is this guy still just in the NFL?
That was my thought when I saw it. I was like, he hasn't retired yet?
I mean, look, I think he has an impressive story, right? He has an impressive story like Josh Cribbs has an impressive story. Josh Cribbs, I love Josh Cribbs. I love the fact that he was a Brown. I love that he's in the Hall of Fame somewhere for his 13 kickoff returns, punt returns, whatever he's got. Awesome story. Josh Cribbs never won us anything. Cordero Patterson's a cool story. Wide receiver, converted punt returner, kick returner to running back, and has had some success kind of in all those different roles. But he's on the wrong side of 30. And I don't know. I just can't get over like a running back wearing a number in the 80s. I don't know. He's just he's
weird.
He's look, I don't know. I just don't know that his skill set offers us anything that we don't have. Unless like the idea is we're just totally going to get rid of Nick Chubb's presence in the offense and replace it with someone that can catch balls out of the backfield. Even though Nick Chubb's hands are vastly underrated. If they just wanted to put a wide receiver in the backfield for Deshaun, okay. I can't make sense of it for any other reason.
Yeah, I mean, at least we're in agreement on this one because I'm just not a fan of this at all. I saw people like, oh, this is a great fit. Like, in whose world is this a great fit? What are you talking about? This dude's an aging running back, wide receiver, returner thing, and he's coming off a serious injury. So
he was never good enough to be one of them. He just tends to keep reinventing himself, which again, I give credit to the guy because he's elongated his NFL career and made a boatload more money by doing that. But like, name me one other person that looks like that, and name me one that was successful to the point of helping a team win a championship.
I can't.
You can't, because it's just not. It doesn't fit anywhere. At the end of the day, he's a nice piece, sure, when he's healthy, but that's another problem he's had his whole career is he's always been banged up. And he's a really intriguing fantasy pickup because he gets receiving yards and rushing yards. So I like him in that, but I don't need him on the Cleveland Browns. Sure.
Yeah, I just hear these rumors, and the first word that popped into my head was nope.
No, and I don't see. Cordarrelle's not a guy that's going to demand a huge contract because of all the things we just talked about, but you are going to have to pay him. And I would rather see them save and scrap together every spare dollar to keep Nicholas Jamal Chubb a Cleveland Brown until the day he retires than bring in some guy that's going to carry the ball 108 times this year.
Yeah, we got about 5 months left of Nick Chubb, I think.
I know, and it's sad. I'm devastated by it, but it's the truth.
Yeah. Next up here, Lamar Jackson finally got his contract and immediately says he wants to throw for 6,000 yards with the weapons that they brought in the offseason.
What the weapons they brought in?
Like, what? I just like how he went from I want to trade to I'm going to throw for 6,000 yards. What is this dude even talking about? I want to know who his dealer is.
Look, I'm glad this thing has finally come to an end because I was tired of talking about Lamar every week. Good on him for getting, the bag without an agent and all that, with everything, all the things that were said and made about that whole thing. Just good for him that he got paid, right? He's finally got what he was after. Throw over 6,000 yards. It's aggressive. I will say, what's even more aggressive is the fact that I don't know when the last time he's played 17 games in a season. So the fact that he's going to throw over 6,000 yards in 12 games is even more impressive and aggressive.
That is impressive. So, look, here's the deal. I'm more confident in Deshaun Watson kind of getting to the top of his game again than I am Lamar Jackson, to be honest with you, because at least Deshaun Watson never really had injury issues. So
no, and Deshaun's led the league in passing yards before.
Yeah. And I know people argue Lamar Jackson was an MVP, but
yeah, but even in his MVP season, I don't know off the top of my head. Did he hit 4,000 yards passing that year?
Probably not. I don't know if he's ever hit 4,000 yards passing.
I don't even know if he hit 4,000, but I know he rushed for
he's a glorified running back.
He rushed for like 1,200 that year, but hey, great. Here's what I'll say.
Job.
I do have Lamar in a keeper league, and if he's going to throw for 6,000, I'm going to keep him.
Yeah, and I guess my last note on here is, we're kind of talking him down right now, but I mean, I guess others have doubted him before too, and he just keeps being relevant, I guess. So whatever.
And if Odell Beckham is healthy all year and has a comeback season, like that's not out of the.
That's such.
It's not.
No, but that's
not impossible.
You want Odell Beckham Jr. and Lamar Jackson to stay healthy all season
to play 34 games.
No. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see how this pans out for him.
If they both stay healthy, it's not impossible to think Odell Beckham could come back and have a historically good season, not a historically good Hall of Fame season like Megatron. He's not going to catch for 2,000 yards. He'd probably need to catch for 3,000 in this Lamar Jackson offense. But he could have 1,400 or 1,500 yards, and it's not going to get you 6,000 again. But He could have. They could both have good years this year, which is not good.
He needs
for
four
the Cleveland
receivers
Browns
to have 1,500 yards if he wants to go 6,000. I mean, he doesn't have to, but
I think he's banking on Odell hitting close to 2. Mark Andrews is going to be at 1,600, and then you just fill in the gaps, baby.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, let's move on here. Thursday, May 11th, schedule release for the NFL. So looking forward to this. We'll definitely be covering this on the next episode because that's coming up here quick. And how many primetime games do you think the Browns get here?
I still think they're in Rodgers' doghouse, so I don't think they're going to. I think they'll be shelved. Yeah, I think they'll be shelved for most of the year again. Maybe you end up with.
We were a major disappointment last time we went into primetime. So.
Yeah, like you'll end up with one that you're not expecting, like against some ball club that nobody cares about. But I don't think they're going to be plastered all over Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and all that again.
You know who will?
The Detroit Lions,
the goddamn Jets,
and the Jets. Yeah, the Jets will be. Yeah. But we won't be. The NFL schedule release is like the biggest wet fart of the offseason. There's just, it's like you build this up and they have a whole like hour or 2 hour episode to go over the schedule release. And it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing with our lives?
We're not going to take an hour or two. We're probably just going to take like 10 minutes in our next episode, but we'll cover it as
please.
Well.
Yeah. Because it's just one of those things because you don't even know. You don't know who's going to be good from year to year. You have a decent idea, but like, We're gonna. Here's what's gonna happen all across town. This is what's gonna. No, you listen. This is what's gonna happen all across town. Everybody's gonna get the schedule release. Gonna come out. They're gonna sit in their little work pods on Friday afternoon. They're gonna go, yeah, we can win this one and we can win that one. And Browns are easily 12-5 this year. No joke, 12-5. Like it's not unreasonable to think that. That's what's gonna happen.
Bare minimum.
Yeah, no worse than 12-5.
Probably way better. Yeah, so, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's silly because, like, we've got the 4th place schedule. What does that actually do for us?
Yeah,
I mean, for all we know, the 4th place team from the other division is going to jump up to 1st place, and then we're going to be effed.
And look at some of the teams that didn't have great records last year. Like, I don't know. I could make a case that the Houston Texans could be a surprise team that's good this year. Like, they could.
CJ Stroud's good. He was who both of us thought would be the number 1 pick. So,
and you got new blood down there, and your new coach and that. Like, they brought in a ton of talent because of the Deshaun Watson trades. I mean, they've got a bunch of young guys there that, with the right direction, like they may compete for the division. All I'm saying is, like, you don't even know some of the worst teams from last year, like the Texans and the Panthers. Like, I don't know. What if one of these? Sometimes these rookie quarterbacks come out now and they easily will win 8 or 9 games, and it's like, all right, like this guy's arrived. So it's hard to make those kinds of season long predictions on a Thursday in May when it's still snowing outside in Cleveland.
Yeah, I agree with you. Speaking of the draft and some rookies. We got an update on our buddy Anthony Kendall from last episode that we did. Yeah, so unfortunately, and again, we're talking about Anthony Kendall, graduate of Baldwin-Wallace right here in Northeast Ohio. He's a Division III prospect that was getting looked at by several NFL ball clubs during the draft. Unfortunately, he did not get drafted. However, he did get an invite to the Jets and the Browns training camps. However, before he could even make it to either one of them, the Tennessee Titans swooped in and scooped him up before anybody else had a chance to, and he officially signed with the team late last week. So on one hand, we're a little bummed that he didn't sign with our Cleveland Browns. We think he was a sleeper that could have really helped the ball club. But on the other hand, we're totally pumped for Anthony Kendall. It's a great story for a small school kid to get a chance in the NFL and show what he can do.
Not a prospect anymore.
Not a prospect. He's officially an NFL player.
Yeah. Look, I think we were both really impressed with him just in general in terms of, obviously his playing ability, but B, just his maturity as someone kind of going through what's a very unusual and kind of tough circumstance when you're trying to make a dream come true. And I think we were both really, really impressed with the young man, and wish him well. And certainly don't ever wish for anybody to have, get cut by an NFL team. But if he were to be cut and then picked up by the Browns later in training camp, I wouldn't be upset about that.
I wouldn't be upset about that. So again, congratulations to Anthony Kendall. Like you said, great young man. Hope to see big things out of him this year or get him back on the show as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
And then next up here, we've got, I don't even want to talk about this. Just the Cleveland
non-Browns
Cavaliers. News. Yeah, non-Browns news. The Cleveland Cavaliers absolutely sucked in the playoffs. Like, they were bad. Like, it was bad.
What's worse is watching this New York Knicks team be exposed as the frauds that they were after they trounced
literally
us.
Jalen Brunson's their whole team, and he's just getting shut down like he should be because he's not a nobody, but he's not a superstar.
He's kind of a nobody.
He's not.
Yeah, I mean,
in the NBA,
he's not packing bags for anyone, but he's just not. He's not one of the premier talents in the league when you think of rising. The all stars in the league. Maybe a rising star, but he's certainly not a household name.
He's no Donovan Mitchell.
He's no Donovan Mitchell.
Unless he's playing the Cavs, and then he shuts down Donovan Mitchell and is better than him.
Yeah, look, just super disappointing way to end the season because it was such a fun season up until that point because of the way they play balls out on during every game during the regular season. But man, it just seemed like the whole playoff run was just deflated. Like Tom.
What's wild to me about this? What's wild to me about this whole thing is that so we went from being so excited for this year for the Cavs. And even throughout the entire year, everybody was so excited. Oh, this is great. We're going to be great. We're going to make a deep run in the playoffs, whatever. And now we get bounced in embarrassing fashion. We're going to go into next season, and it's going to be the complete opposite. We're going to have all these great pieces, and we should be excited about the season. But everybody's going to be like, yeah, but are we going to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs again?
Oh, yeah. The honeymoon phase is over now, right?
Honeymoon phase is over, bitch.
Yeah, like what's really frustrating too.
You brought back one of my old quotes. That's good. That's a good callback.
Maybe it's not frustrating to everyone else, but it's incredibly frustrating to me. Is I already had it. There was a story I think in the Athletic this week about how Donovan Mitchell still wants to be a New York Knick. And then you'll have him next year, and then there's probably going to be a move made to send him to New York because that's ultimately where he wants to be. And it's just so frustrating. And on one hand, it's like, is the media making
that
this
makes
more
you wonder?
thing?
So I doubt there's any validity to that. Like, it's probably just somebody picking a story and trying to run with it. But if there is, well, then that begs the question. Is there a reason you were so bad against New York?
Wouldn't you want to showcase your talent if you wanted to go play for them? Wouldn't you make them want to trade 3 first-round picks for you?
Yeah, but what would endear a ball club to you more? You throwing a series or you beating the shit out of them?
I don't think you can tell anybody that you threw the series until well after you're done playing.
Well, they might know.
On day one, he shows up. Y'all remember that playoffs in 2023? Hell yeah, I threw that bitch.
No, I'm not accusing.
Also, you got to get knocked out of the next round by the Heat. Woo!
Yeah, I'm not accusing Donovan Mitchell of throwing the playoffs. I'm not. But I'm just saying, like, again, I don't think there's any validity to those stories about him wanting to be a Knick still. I don't think that most of these players care about where they play as much as people think they do.
I mean, I think it was from like a Cavs beat guy. I want to say it was like Jason Lloyd. Like, it was like it wasn't like a.
Because Cleveland's got the best reporters.
A half-ass nobody.
Me and you are technically media in Cleveland at this point. So
I am
what
media.
Does that say about
I am
what
tapping
does that
media.
Say about us?
What does that say on the bottom there?
There's no arguing that.
Media.
So more Cavs news. This is some sad news from Cleveland. Nick Gilbert passed away yesterday. We're recording on Monday the 8th. It was yesterday, I believe, that he passed away from complications related to neurofibromatosis or NF1. He was an awesome young man. I mean, everybody here remembers him being the good luck charm for the multiple draft lotteries that we got. He was able to help the Cavs draw the first and the fourth picks when he helped out with the drafts. And this past year, the Cavs wore a bow tie, part of Nick's signature look when he went to those drafts, on their warm-ups to raise awareness for the fight against NF1. So just really sad news. He seemed like a really nice kid, and condolences to the Gilbert family, friends, entire Cavs organization, and all the people whose lives Nick touched in his way too short 26 years on this world.
For sure. Yeah, it's incredibly sad news when that came down. And as you mentioned, we all remember those drafts, him being the good luck charms. We got the draft lottery underway, and so those were always fun. And I know that NF1 is one of those things there's no cure for it right now. It's tumors that kind of grow in along your nervous system in different spots, and it's not a fun thing to go through, and there's no way to really cure it. So I think we all remember Nick as the fun bow tie kid that was winning us draft lotteries, but also just warrior to get to that point. And just the strength that it takes to persevere and get through that every day. And, she said, just wish the whole family
brain surgeries.
Yeah. I mean, that kid was through a ton. And so you just feel bad for everyone involved in that circumstance. But,
Yep. So again,
that's his life.
To everybody.
R.I.P. to our friend.
Terrible news. In more basketball news, though, we have Bronny. Bronny came out and chose USC this week. So, one, I can't believe he didn't choose Ohio State.
I can. Have you seen Ohio State's basketball program recently?
This year
Since that might have left their ass.
Yeah, that's true. So I was pretty turned down for it, but honestly, and not only that, but to be honest, Bronny doesn't have as many ties to Northeast Ohio as like LeBron does. He spent most of the years that he's been growing up, like actually growing up, like his high school years and such, have been out in California. So I'm sure his heart is far more out there than it is here.
Well, and let's be honest, Bronny's not playing for 4 years anywhere he went.
He's playing for one.
He'll probably play 12 games. So he'll fake a hamstring coming into the season.
Until the draft.
He'll light up for 10 or 12 games. Yeah.
And then he's going to sit out until the draft.
The only thing that I don't like about this whole story is like even in our notes we wrote about Bronny chooses USC. Let's be real here. Bronny didn't choose shit. LeBron said, "Yo, I live in LA. If you want me to come to your games, like you can go to school in Southern California. Like that's your option." Because it just would have been too hard for the families because they have young kids for all that. So like, let's call it what it was. LeBron made this decision for Bronny, all part of LeBron's master plan to, whatever he's going to do, retire and sign with him when he's draft eligible, all that stuff. So I just don't buy that Bronny really had any choice in this, nor do I think he cared, because it wasn't like even if he had some ties to Ohio State and he was like, I want to bring the Buckeyes back to prominence, like it's hard to do in 1 year anyway in college basketball. So I just it is what it is. But good for Bronny. To live up to, has he lived up to the hype yet? No, but he's made it this far. And it's whether anytime you're a famous person's kid like that, and not just a famous person, like a legendary famous person, like I feel the same way about like Charlie Woods. It's like you're always going to be in the shadow of the greatest of all time. And, there was expectations for a lot of kids like that, and didn't always work out. So the fact that he's committed to the game and built himself into a top prospect, and, is going to go to a top rated school and will be drafted in a year. I mean, good for him, because it's not as much as we all want to say, Bronny's life probably is so hard. His first car was a Lamborghini, and Instagram models want to date him when he's like 13. Like, there's some relative truth to, like, you're LeBron James's kid, and you have his people name. Expect great things
that's the worst
of you,
part about it.
And now you have to deliver. What's that?
I said, and you have his name, so that's like the worst part about it, is the fact that you have.
Oh yeah, it would be like if Tiger would have named Charlie Tiger. Little Tiger, like, you can't.
Terrible. It would have been terrible. Like you got me and you that are, you're a junior, I'm the third, but our dads weren't the greatest of all time at basketball or golf or whatever. So, I mean, good dudes.
Yeah, I mean,
not the greatest of all time at basketball or golf.
Yeah, like my accomplishment was like the first in my line to like go to college. Like that's very vastly different than following up a guy that's going to score 45,000 career points in the NBA.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, good for Bronny, I guess, going to USC. Great.
He's just going to get more chicks.
All right, so next up here we've got the Guardians, still a few games under 500, kind of trying to stay afloat. But I mean, I don't know what you're seeing. It's looking to me like it's getting harder and harder for them to win these games. And I know there's things that people keep saying, but they don't make sense to me. I mean, what was the thing that you heard that we were just talking about?
Oh yeah, I keep hearing on the radio for the last couple of days that the bats will warm up, and I think even Tito said this at some point, was that the bats will warm up as the weather warms up, as if we play in like Southern California. Like, I don't know when the Cleveland Indians became a warm weather ball club, and like, I don't know. Spoiler alert: in September and November when it counts, like. In October when it counts,
it's going to be cold.
It's cold here. So, I don't know that I want to be a warm weather ball club.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Hopefully they could keep it up though. They can stay afloat until these pitchers come back, because I mean, they just got Cal Quantrill back, and he pitched a gem against the Twins and just destroyed them. So hopefully we keep getting people back, and we could start winning some ball games, because right now it's a little ugly.
Well, yeah, you've had some injuries early on. You've had some people underperform early on. And the weather, to be fair, like, the weather has not been great. I don't know that that's like the full reason they've been succopotamus, but
succopotamus, is that a technical term?
But as fans get in the stands and the weather starts to break, like, maybe that'll help bring just that, like, I don't know, whatever to the games. But the problem is that, like, you're starting to see, like, some of these teams that are getting now out to early leads, and it just makes it harder for yourself at the end of June and July when you get towards the All-Star break, when you're like, even at 500 now, I'm 5 games back of the division leader, and like, it's just makes it harder on yourself. So hopefully they can get their shit together. Never good. Come on, Tito, turn them around.
Turn them around. Go ahead.
Before, I was going to say, I know we don't really do shout outs, but my niece turned 16 this week, sweet 16. And we went to the Akron Rubber Ducks game this weekend, and she got to throw out the first pitch. So that was pretty cool. I'll link that in a TikTok or something so you can see. But she did make it across the plate.
Nice.
She wasn't a little bitch.
I don't know if you're allowed to say that about a 16-year-old girl, but sure.
She's a top-rated softball prospect in the state, so she does okay.
Yeah. So in non-Cleveland news, though, the world is officially safe from Jackson Mahomes for now. There's no.
Have fun making TikToks in the drunk take, bro.
Yeah. So there's an alleged assault from earlier in the year. We say alleged. We're pretty sure he did it. Dude's an idiot. But we can't say that he actually did it because I don't know. I wasn't there. But alleged assault from earlier in the year. But just with this, maybe Patrick Mahomes people finally corral this guy and he can go away.
Rein him in a little.
Yeah. I'm so sick of hearing about Jackson Mahomes. I mean, he's just the most like that's the worst kind of person is you're literally living off of your brother's fame and fortune and success. You do nothing except for make TikTok videos and not even good ones. Like yours aren't good. The only reason that you make money is literally because your brother is Patrick Mahomes. So
yeah, like you can say what you want about Johnny Football, but like at least Johnny did something to earn his cred. Like he was good for a minute. Jackson Mahomes ain't done shit. I mean, I'm sure they do the same 8-ball, but yeah, look, I don't want to make a light of
Johnny. No, I got something for you here.
But
forget about Jackson Mahomes. I don't care. I don't care about Jackson Mahomes anymore. Just he can go away. Speaking of Johnny, though, did you see the play from his game this past week?
I did not. I'm sure it was spectacular because he's the best quarterback I've ever seen.
No, so there was a bad snap and he fumbled it and he like kicked it around a little bit. He went to go pick it up and saw the defensive lineman coming and just walked off the field.
Vintage Johnny.
Yeah.
Vintage Johnny.
He's like, I don't think so.
That'll be what flashes before my eyes on my deathbed. Like people have all kinds of fun family memories and loves of their lives. Mm-hmm. Mine will be Johnny Manziel undertakering in the Buffalo Bills end zone. After he fumbled
Get that picture up if you can find it. No, the final thing, I'll let you talk on this one, Kenny. You sent me a message earlier today and I thought you needed some airtime for this. So Kenny has a problem with honey baked ham.
I do have a problem with honey baked ham. First off, let me tell you this. They're only open until like 6. Like, come on. What is this? The 1920s? Second off, it is so expensive for a honey baked ham. And you might say, well, don't buy it. Well, here's the problem with that. It's delicious. Last week, I'm getting ready to leave work. And I say to my boss, I really want a honey baked ham. And he's like, all right. And I was like, and I'm a grown ass man. I don't even have to wait until it's a holiday. I could just go buy my own ham. He was like, fair point. So you know what I did?
Why does your boss listen to this nonsense?
Because I'm a top performer, bro. He has to. So anyway, I put my order in online. I'm like, I want this ham. Their hams are ridiculous. Like I got the smallest normal ham. Like the smallest option you get is a normal ham. It says this thing feeds 12 to 16 people, which I also don't understand because my wife and I ate this one.
What is this, a meal for ants?
This is a meal for ants, yeah. And so I put my order in, and I'm hustling and bustling. I hit some traffic on the way from Cleveland to the Honey Baked Ham store, and they close at 6:30, and I pull in the driveway, and it's 6:27, and the manager shuts the lights off, and I'm like, no! And I like run out of my car, door open, still running, and I just like they see me. There's 3 of them standing there.
Wait. Did you just say that you ran?
I did. Yeah, that's how much I love honey baked ham. It's the first time I've run in a while.
There's only one thing that Kenny will run for, and it's honey baked ham.
That's true. So I run to the door and I try to run in like Superman trying to run into the old telephone booth, and the door's locked, and they're all 3 just standing there at the counter staring at me. And I just did my most best impression of just being a fat guy that loves ham and missed the cutoff time. I just sat there just so devastated until they finally were like, this poor asshole really apparently needs this ham. So they let me in to let me get it. And so anyway, I got the ham, but my problem is that the ham was $90.
Yeah, they're expensive, man. They're like the most expensive hams of all time.
If you go to your local supermarket or your local deli and buy a half a ham, they're like $24. Like $18.99 on sale for the holidays. $90 for a ham on a Monday afternoon.
A Monday afternoon in the middle of May.
Yeah. So the good thing is, like, my wife and I ate this whole ham for like basically the next week. So really full of ham. I've had a lot of ham farts. But my biggest problem is just that it's so unnecessarily expensive. But I love it.
All right. Well, there you have it. Honey baked ham. He hates it, but he loves it.
That's the Burning River Rundown.
Yeah, I guess that will conclude the Burning River Rundown. I don't know why we stuck that in there, but we will follow that up with reminding you to call the Burning River Sportscast Hot Take Hotline. Hot Take Hotline. Yeah, give us a call, air your grievances, tell us what you think, talk about the Cavs, Guardians, Browns, whatever you want to talk about, Cleveland, anything. Tell us you're pissed off at Honey Baked Ham for making their ham so damn expensive. Whatever you
definitely
want.
Call about Honey Baked Ham. I might call about Honey Baked Ham.
330-227-8080.
330-227-8080.
330-227-8080. Call me. All right, so you know what time it is. Let's take a quick revenue break. We're going to take a quick revenue break and get back here to analyze the finalists for the Cleveland Browns fan-designed dog logo competition. And we'll do a quick draft recap for the Browns.
Let's talk about the draft
for the
again.
Browns.
Yay.
Kenny, have you downloaded Apple TV yet?
No. Should I?
Absolutely. Good stuff on there. I think I'm going to check out the show Shrinking soon.
Oh, no. I feel like I know what that's about, but what is it about?
Well, Kenny, Jimmy is struggling to grieve the loss of his wife while being a dad, friend, and therapist. He decides to try a new approach with everyone in his path, including his clients. Unfiltered, brutal honesty. Can he help himself by helping others? Will it bring him back into the light? Ignoring the training and ethics, he finds himself making huge changes to people's lives, including his own. Starring Jason Segel as Jimmy and Harrison Ford as his mentor, Paul, and brought to you by Bill Lawrence, an executive producer of Scrubs and Ted Lasso. This groundbreaking new dramedy series will have you feeling some type of way and keep you wanting more.
You gathered all that from the trailer, huh?
Yeah. So click the link in our show notes to get a free episode and subscribe to Apple TV Plus to binge the rest of the season today. So buy it.
Sounds way better than a show about shrinkage, which is, I thought, what it was going to be about.
That's not what it was. All right, so that'll take us to the new dog logo breakdown. All right, so the Cleveland Browns had a great response to the fan vote last year for the field design. So they decided to do another fan engagement campaign this year. This year it was a redesign for the dog logo that will become the official dog logo of the Cleveland Browns, which is a secondary logo. So it's the official, unofficial logo of the Cleveland Browns, officially.
Yeah, so we don't really know what that means. Like, is it going to be on the field at any point in time? Probably not. Maybe they're just using it for like licensing and merchandise. Yeah,
and not clear how long it will remain the main dog logo. But They did reveal the top 5 today. We'll talk about them in the order that the top 5 were revealed. So we're going to start, and if you're watching the YouTube version, Kenny's going to throw some pictures up here for you so you can see them. Take a look as well. If you're on the radio, or I should say on your podcast directory here, we'll kind of describe them to you, let you know. Yeah. So the first one here, we got a profile of a mean looking dog here. And this one, if you've looked at these at all, it's got CLE kind of in its scruff of its neck, and the teeth kind of look like the laces of a football. So those are the kind of things that stand out in this one. It was submitted by Emily Morgan. She's like this real popular graphic designer on social media right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've seen, it's funny, before this contest, I've seen her do like other NFL logo mock-ups.
Oh yeah, her Minnesota Vikings one was sick nasty, bro.
Yeah, so she's definitely built a following doing that. And I didn't really realize at first that this was hers. But like I said, we'll kind of break these down, which ones we liked, which ones we didn't. But I will say, definitely extra points for including the CLE in the dog scruff. Sorry, in the dog scruff, and the teeth. The teeth looking like a football is a unique concept as well. So, from a creativity standpoint, this was the most creative logo. It kind of looks like something I would put on my hand and fist you with. So you might lose points there. But that being said, like pretty cool, angry dog profile. It almost has too much orange in it for me. The orange is so orange, and there's just too much of it.
The orange is oranger, bro. Here's the deal. You said this was the most creative one. I don't think this is the most creative one out of all of them. But I mean, I think this was solid. It does look good. So again, she's a graphic designer, so she goes ahead and she throws all of her stuff on like merchandise, so you can see what it would look like. It does look pretty good on merchandise, especially hats. It looks really good on a hat. But yeah, I mean, this one's solid. Right now, it's the top vote getter. We'll see if that stands and if the Browns pick it, but not my favorite is what I would say out of the 5. But it's pretty good.
Not my favorite, but
that leads us to this one.
Creativity points for sure.
That leads us to the next one, which is basically we've got a portrait view of a dog on this one. It's got the you know what this dog kind of looks like? It looks like the old Dawg Pound logo from when we had the crazy dumbass uniforms in like 15, 16 time frame, and it just had that like weird like silhouette of a dog. It looks like that, but transferred onto like a real like dog portrait now. And I don't like it.
So I would disagree with you.
Also, I'm pretty sure this was a plant.
I would disagree with you. I think this looks very modern.
Well, you're an idiot.
Looks a little more like pit bully than it does mastiffy. So I kind of like that. I think that's kind of cool. But I love that the top of it has the Browns, like the white stripe, like the football helmet, kind of running across the center. It was a
common theme in a lot of these. You'll notice. But yes, I agree. I do like that.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And what I like about, here's the thing, when I'm thinking about a logo, and this is where I think people went wrong in this contest, because it's one thing to draw a dope ass picture of a dog. It's another to design a logo entirely, right? Like think about the most iconic logos on the planet. Think about things like Nike or I don't know, Adidas,
Facebook, like Google,
like the very simple designs
Apple,
that like
Tapping Media,
a child could draw themselves, and you'd be able to tell that's Apple or that's Nike. So to me, a lot of these designs were just, there was too much going on for me to be like, that's a logo. This one to me has what I deem to be maybe the least amount going on in terms of like busy comparatively to the others. Even down to like if you look at the collar on this dog, the spikes are big. So they're like, it's just one of those that's like, it's more easily identifiable, which I like. And it's simpler than some of these other ones, because I just think you can get way too busy on a logo.
Yeah, that part is fair. I will say that it is probably the most toned down of all of these, with the exception of one other of the top 5, which I we'll get to, but it's more of a retro look. For all the modern looking ones, this is the most toned down out of all of them. But like I said, I'm pretty sure this was a plant because there were 389 entries for this thing, and I was going down the list and looking at all of them to see who submitted this one. I wanted to shout out to them, and I could not find this one anywhere. So pretty sure the Cleveland Browns planted this one. So if that's the case, there's a good chance this will be the next one.
That's why it's so good.
Yeah, but it's too cartoony for me. I think it like I said, I think it looks a lot like that dumb Dawg Pound logo we used back when we had the stupid uniforms. So,
are you talking about the like very cartoony puppy, like happy puppy they made? The
yeah, it was awful
in like 2015.
Yeah, the eyes on this look
like that.
Yes, pull it up next to each other. The eyes look exactly the same.
You are high.
You're high.
You are high. You are high in the Outer Banks.
No, I'm not. Not today, at least. Yeah, but we'll move on logo here. Yeah, so we got another one here. It's kind of like we got another profile view, little profile action going on. This one's all right. More of a mean look to this one. Different breed of dog, I guess you would say. And they used a lot more like brown, and like this looks more like an actual dog, like a dog face. I don't know how else to say
really,
that, but
the way the orange is incorporated is it's like the dog is wearing a Browns helmet.
It is kind of like that. And I mean, honestly, here's my big thing with this one. They're going to have a hard time marketing this one because this dog looks rabid and its eyes, they use the orange in its eyes. So it makes it look even more intense. So I don't think they're going to be able to market this one real well.
The orange eye is about the only thing I like about this. The brown, what I don't like is like, why is the collar brown and the muzzle of the dog brown? Like, it's too much brown.
It's just too much brown, man.
There's not a good ratio of color in this one. Plus, I don't know, like, you know, dogs have those like beauty marks with the whiskers coming out of their face. Like, the logo doesn't need a beauty mark. Come on.
Well, it's got one.
Well, I don't like it. This is my least favorite of all of them. Sorry, whoever made it.
This was second from the bottom for me. So we'll move on to the next one. This one it's kind of to me, what this is an updated version with a slightly more mastiffy dog than the Browns logo, the dog logo that everybody's seen, right? Which is the dopest logo. We'll get into that in a minute. But anyways, this one here, I will say this one is my favorite. So some of the things that stuck out to me on this one, there's a lot of hidden details on this. I like when you hide details in logos. The state of Ohio is on the ear. If you're looking at it on the left-hand side of it, it would be the dog's right ear. The outline of the state of Ohio is on that.
Wait, where?
The orange in its ear. If you're looking at it on the left-hand side, that's the state of Ohio.
That's the state of Ohio?
Yeah.
If that is the hidden state of Ohio, I'm Bob Saget.
Okay. You're an idiot. The other things that are in this are it has the stadium on the dog tag with the east end zone highlighted for the Dawg Pound. That's pretty cool. It's highlighted in white around the outside of the dog tag. And then in the middle of the dog tag is a guitar pick as a nod to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's got a football for a nose.
It's a dog's nose. They all look like guitar picks.
The guitar pick is in a dog tag, so you're not even looking in the right place. The
dog
nose.
Tag, wait. The dog tag is the stadium.
The inside of the dog tag looks like a guitar pick. The middle of it. The nose. The nose is a foot. It's got a whole thing breaking it down. I'll even send it to you so you can put it up on the screen. The nose is a football. There's 8 spikes on the collar to represent our 8 championships. The Guardian Bridge, the Hope Memorial Bridge Tower or column is below the jowls on this thing. There's the helmet stripe on the head like Kenny loves. There's a helmet stripe on the head like Kenny loves. And Dawg Pound helmet above the eye on the right side. which is the helmet with no face mask. That's what they wear in the Dawg Pound. And then
there's just a bunch of random shapes on this dog. I get it.
Yeah, this dog's fantastic. I know you don't like it. You think it's too busy, but I'm a big fan of this. This one's my favorite.
It's way too fucking busy for anyone to even stomach. The ears look like they were put on upside down. And I just don't understand. It's very stoic. And I do notice the Guardian's bridge kind of sticks out to me. And I do like the white stripe on the head. Maybe I'll just dye a white stripe down my hair.
That would be something.
This just doesn't look like something that you can just put on a shirt. Like there's way too much going on.
Agree to disagree.
And it looks like they did way too much shadow. Like this thing's got, it looks like Two-Face.
I will say some people, I saw on Twitter somebody was making fun of it, and they just posted a picture of the outline of Darth Vader's helmet next to it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Is Darth Vader? Yeah, way too much going on there.
So yeah, my favorite. Kenny doesn't like it at all.
It is stoic and mean looking, like a dog should be. There's just too much going on.
Then we got this last one here, which is like a real retro one. It looks a lot like the old Dawg Pound logos from way back in the day. I think this is another plant because, again, I couldn't find who submitted this one. But obvious homage to those old designs of the past. But it's just not for me. It's way too retro. It just kind of looks silly.
I actually love this logo.
Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Again, we have, as Ronnie mentioned, the retro kind of looking dog. You know what the dog actually kind of reminds me of is the Duck Hunt dog. Like laughing at you as you missed the.
That's what you want. Instill fear.
I don't like that his jowls kind of look like balls. But outside of that, again, we have the brown stripe coming down the middle of the face. It's got some, fangs sticking out. Anatomically, the dog looks normal. Also, we're just making up shapes of things and saying that they are of them. If you look at the way that the lips come down over the balls in the middle of his face and the way his ears stick out and the way that his head is humped, it almost looks like a football player.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
great.
I guess. I do think that this logo is probably would have been a great logo 15 years ago. It's a little dated.
Yeah.
That being said, it's very clean. It is clean, like recognizable. But I just think that I think they're going to have to go with something a little more modern.
All right. So what's your pick?
Yes. My pick is this one that Ronnie insists is the plant with the dope ass collar and the white stripe down the head. And his nose also looks like a football and a guitar pick. And I think it's just a nice looking dog, man. It looks mean. I wouldn't mind if this dog was on our helmets.
All right. Well, you can have that dog. I'm going to go with Darth Vader. Darth Vader's my favorite. So, so that's it for the logo analysis that we gave you. Hard hitting logo analysis from Burning River Sportscast. So next up, we've got the Cleveland Browns 2023 draft recap.
Cleveland Browns are now on the clock.
All right, Kenny. Here's the deal. The draft happened. It's over with. It's done with. There's not really a lot left to talk about with it, so we're going to speed through this thing because I'm on vacation and I want to go.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. I was going to say, do we even have to talk about the draft? No, we'll give it its due credence here. We'll go through the draft picks. I mean, it's not like it was a bad draft.
We'll give it a quick grade at the end. But I'll run down the picks here. You can interject if you got something to say about any of them, but I'll just run down some of the numbers. We'll give stats for them, height, weight, that type of thing, what position they play, what pick they were, and what their grade was, their prospect grade from NFL.com coming in, and what that means. So
basically a draft recap.
Just quick though. So we got to start off with in round 3, pick number 74. The Browns took Cedric Tillman, wide receiver out of Tennessee. Dude, 6'3", 213 pounds. Had a draft prospect grade of 6.38. And what that means is they rate him as an eventual plus starter, is what they call him. So they think he's going to be a standout starter eventually.
Yeah.
So good pick there.
This was a guy that dropped considerably in the draft, mostly due to injury he had last year. He had a toe or something that kept him out a number of games. The year before that, he was very, very highly regarded as who maybe a top receiver in the next year's draft. So, look, I think there's some good things here. Good size for sure. Isn't going to blow anybody away with his speed. It was a 4.55 or a 4.58 guy in the 40, but it's sufficient. I mean, there's a lot of guys in that. I mean, you look at DeAndre Hopkins and some of these guys didn't run 4.3 in the 40. They know how to maneuver their body and how to
40 is kind of one of those, if you've got the size and you've got the talent, the 40 is one of the most overrated things in football. So,
yeah, I will say this. I don't know if it's for his whole career or if it was for last season, but like he didn't have a single marked drop.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive.
It's a time frame on that. So, but
that's always always a good stat.
That's always important for a receiver who can catch the ball.
Next up, round 3, pick number 98, Siaki Ika, defensive tackle out of Baylor. This dude's 6'3", 335 pounds. His prospect grade was a 6.23, which equals an eventual average starter. But still a starter. So you're picking up a potential starter in round 3, according to NFL.com. So another solid pickup, run stopper for sure. This is a guy that's going to eat blocks.
Yeah, another guy that fits the needs. Right, we talked about needing receivers, talked about needing interior defensive linemen. I think the most important person on the Browns staff next year will be the nutritionist, because this guy is a little more Rikishi and a lot less Roman Reigns. I mean, when I saw the pictures of this guy, I was like, how does he even move?
I like how you kept it in the family there.
It's all about the family, bro, the bloodline.
Yeah, nice. I like that. We're, you guys don't know it, but we're big wrestling fans here. Pat McAfee, hit us up. We could talk.
So yeah, I think I don't have high expectations for this guy. I don't have low expectations for this guy. I think that if he can shed 10 pounds this year and work on his balance and things, and hopefully he'll be a real good, plug up the middle. We'll see. Yep.
NFL.com got it right, I think. Eventual average starter, which is fine.
Doesn't cost you anything. I mean, it's a 3rd round draft pick. No big deal.
Yep. Next up here is the guy that I'm most excited for in the entire draft. Round 4, pick number 111 is DeJuan Jones, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. 6'8", 374, prospect grade of 6.32, which is an eventual.
Stop. Just stop. Get to do his height and weight again.
6'8", 374 pounds. He's got a prospect. This
dude can dunk a basketball.
Dude's nickname is Big Thanos. Yeah.
That is a mountain of a man.
But his prospect grade was a 6.32, which is eventual plus starter that you're getting in the 4th round. He did not give up a single sack last season. He was one of only 5 right tackles with at least 700 snaps that didn't give up a single sack last season. So he's pretty impressive. I mean, this was a steal at this point in the draft, I think.
He's obviously huge. It's kind of sad, like when the most exciting person in our draft is a 4th rounder, an offensive lineman. Look, love the fact that he's an Ohio State kid, absolute monster of a human being. There's no way they want his build weight to be 374 come the start of the season. So again, I think the nutritionist is key here, because he's going to have to lose a few lbs.
Kenny, you should go be their nutritionist.
With a honey baked ham diet.
Yeah, have him running for honey baked ham.
But that being said, like it's not like he didn't play at that weight at Ohio State. So
he was
doing
effective
something
too.
right because
Obviously,
he's very good. But I just think he's one of those guys that's a little bit of a project because you don't know when exactly he'll be called into action. Certainly, we have some questions on our offensive line, so it might come sooner rather than later. Sounds like he dropped a little bit because he had some issues answering questions during scouting and combine.
I don't put a lot of stock into those.
Yeah, notably there was a question about like his dream was, and his dream was that he wanted to be in the NBA. And so they kind of made this out to just like they did with CJ Stroud, like almost to make it sound like the guy couldn't even answer a question. So I doubt he was that bad. But
people hate Ohio State, man.
Yeah, and I also don't think that like just because my dream was to play in the NBA doesn't mean that I didn't realize I had the body for the NFL. And like that's my job.
Right.
I dream of being a rock star every day, but I only get to do that in the car on the way to work. I still have to have a normal job
and have a job that pays you nothing with this podcast.
Thank you.
But I mean, like I said, I think he was the biggest steal of the draft, and the thing that I'm most excited about with DeJuan Jones is I believe we have found the replacement for one Jedrick Wills. So,
well, you're not going to lose him, that's for sure.
Who?
You said we found him. So you're not going to lose him.
Good joke. That's exciting. Jedrick Wills. Speaking of that, we didn't mention that earlier, but they did pick up his 5th-year option for some ungodly reason. So we're stuck with him for another year. It's so they could get DeJuan Jones ready.
Well, hopefully they're not counting on Jed to get DeJuan ready. So
no. Next up, we got Isaiah McGuire, round 4, pick 126, defensive end out of Missouri, 6'4", 268, 6.22 for his grade. So he'll be an eventual average starter, according to NFL.com. Solid pickup here. I think what you kind of have seen is they were trying to get guys that they think could eventually start as often as they could throughout this draft. So,
well, I think that they went with a lot of measurables here. I think they went with this guy is the prototypical size for a speed rusher, somebody to complement Miles. Will he ever be as fast as Miles? Will he ever be as strong as Miles? Maybe, maybe not. But he has the body for it, and he's an absolute project. So, we'll see what comes of it. But the pick makes sense from where they're drafted.
I agree. So next up, Dorian Thompson Robinson. This is where it went off the fucking rails for me. Round 5, pick number 140, QB out of UCLA, 6'2", 203, prospect grade of 5.69, which is candidate for bottom of the roster or practice squad. So to say this was a reach is understating it. Like, I don't know why they decided that they thought they needed this guy right here. I understand the fit with he's kind of the same style and build as the quarterbacks we have on our roster, but I don't know why they felt the need to use a 5th rounder on him.
Yeah, this was an Obama pick, right? This was a pick made of hope. This was very strange. To be fair to this kid, like I didn't watch a ton of UCLA football last year.
Nobody did.
There's a reason. Yeah, the reason nobody really did. Look, I think again, measurables, right? He looks and seems like he can play the same style of offense as Deshaun Watson based on his height and his frame. You can probably run a similar offense out of him. Is he the playmaker Deshaun is? Clearly not. But I think he becomes now a project, and I think the hope is with a guy like this is that he can become your backup, your long-term backup for a guy like Deshaun, and you can develop him from a raw talent into something good. And 2 or B, I don't know what I said, A or 1. He maybe ends up being one of those guys like a trade bait, like Bill Belichick always seems to get with backup quarterbacks when Tom Brady was.
But Jacoby Brissett was for most of his, has been for most of his career.
Yeah. Maybe he ends up being a guy that you can steal a third-round pick from later, and what did it cost you this year? A fifth-round pick. So we'll see.
Yep. So next up, Cameron Mitchell, round 5, pick 142, cornerback out of Northwestern, 5'11", 191, prospect grade of 5.66. So another candidate for bottom of the roster or practice squad. So now I think they're kind of starting to, as we got into round 5, they're kind of just starting to take shots in the dark. Find whoever they can. Maybe this guy has the measurables, like you said, and can turn into something eventually. But I always laugh because people like to mock draft all the way down to the end of the draft. At this point, round 5 and beyond, complete crapshoot.
Agreed. Yeah. Look, what division is Northwestern in?
Big Ten.
Yeah, they're known for having stout passing defenses, aren't they?
Lots of speed.
We'll see. Like he's a little bit on the undersized, end, but he's not far off. So we'll see. He's farther off from today's corners than he was. Prototypically in years past, 5'11", 191 was good size, but in this year, in the game today,
it's like 6 foot, like 205 is where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are 6'1", 6'2", even that you see playing corner because the receivers are so big and can jump so high. Now you almost have to. So, we'll see. I mean, again, clearly developmental pick. Somebody's going to be on the practice squad, and we'll see if he ever gets into a game or even makes a team.
Yep. So next up, last pick of the draft, because our final pick was traded, was round 6, pick 190. Luke Whippler, center out of Ohio State, 6'3", 303. Prospect grade of 6.2, which is eventual average starter. And this was the first time the Browns took 2 Buckeyes in the same draft since 1965. So I was pretty excited about this.
Which is so bizarre because just by osmosis, just by the fact that you live here, you see a lot more Ohio State football than
you'd think they'd be better at scouting football. Ohio State than they were. They have been.
And Ohio State consistently has a strong running game, and it's because they have some of the best big uglies in the country. Yep. And so, these 2 picks of Ohio State offensive linemen are sneaky picks that will make Andrew Berry look really good when both of these guys become top tier starters in the league, because there's been a lot of people that have been able to run the ball behind Ohio State offensive linemen for the last 20 years in the NFL. So, these are both guys that I think could be absolutely starters within the next 3 years.
I agree. I liked both those picks. So, overall thoughts for me, I thought it was fine. The biggest glaring need that we didn't address whatsoever was linebacker. So I'm upset about that. And because of that, that holds their draft grade back for me. Like for me, I would give them simply for value based off of what we didn't have. We didn't have a first rounder. We didn't have a second rounder. I would give us a B. And that's being generous, honestly, because we didn't do anything with linebacker. But I thought we did get a lot of value for not having those first rounders. I mean, you look at it and that was what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 potential starters when you don't have a first or a second rounder. So,
yeah, I was shocked that there was no attempt to take a linebacker. Apparently, Jim Schwartz doesn't need those. So fine, that's fair.
Who does?
We'll see how that worked out for Joe Woods when he didn't need defensive tackles, but. That was strange to me. The fact that Andrew Berry didn't take a running back this year, also a little odd, especially given the soon-to-be departure of Nick Chubb. But those 2 things just stuck out as kind of weird. Overall, look, it's a hard draft to grade because I think they were in a position where with limited picks, you have to pick best available on your board. And I think they probably did that. So, again, excited about the 2 offensive linemen from Ohio State. I think you got some interesting options in talent in the wide receiver and the defensive line. So we'll see if those guys pan out or not. But honestly, like, they're wild cards, they're crapshoots, and you don't know because they were 3rd and 5th and 6th round picks. So, but I will say this: when I'm grading this draft, I also have to say the picks that we didn't have were picks that were used on Deshaun Watson. So if I'm counting picks,
and Elijah Moore,
Watson, and Elijah Moore, yeah, it was a 3rd round pick. So if I consider those things, like, was I going to get a better player in the 3rd round as a receiver than Elijah Moore? Probably not. And was there a quarterback in this draft that is as good as Deshaun Watson is today? I think maybe in a couple of years you could maybe have that argument if one of these guys goes absolutely gangbusters. But so to me, I think it's a really high C+ of a draft. Maybe if Deshaun had played better in the last 6 games last year, maybe I'd give you a B-. But he was so god awful at the end of the year that I think this year you have some apprehension just going into the season. But I still have confidence that he's going to be a top 10 or 12 quarterback in the NFL this year. And I like what they've done with those picks, right? They turned them into talent in Deshaun and Elijah Moore. And then you went and said, world's oats, let's go get the best things we can get. And that's what they did. So
I agree. So
can't hold that against them.
Yep. So finally, we're going to run through the undrafted free agents here. It's just a quick undrafted free agent review. I'm not even pausing for sounder for you. That's how quick we're going to do this thing. So I'm just going to list off who we got, what their position is, and then you let me know which one of these guys sticks out to you as far as who you think could make an impact on the team if they make the roster. So starting out, we got safety Ronnie Hickman from Ohio State, defensive lineman Lonnie Phillips from Kansas, linebacker Muhammad Diabate from Utah, running back.
I like him because his name looks like diabetes.
Running back Hassan Hall from Georgia Tech, tight end Thomas Greeny from Albany, defensive end Jeremiah Martin from Washington. Let's see, safety Charlie Thomas from Georgia Tech, cornerback Tanner McAllister from Ohio State, and cornerback Caleb Biggers from Boise State. So any of those stick out to you as far as who's going to make an impact on the Browns roster?
Just the fact that they went back to the well at Ohio State a few times. Ronnie Hickman's one that's an interesting one that I think potentially could have been drafted by an NFL ball club. So almost a surprise to see him go totally undrafted.
Yeah.
Not that he's the next Ed Reed or anything, but I think he can be a role player on an NFL defense for sure. So I think he's one that sticks out. Hassan Hall. I think it's
there's your running back
signed. Yeah, they didn't draft a running back, but they sure went and found one right at the end of the year. Again, going by measurables, 5'10", 196. This is a guy that's not an every down bruiser. It's kind of the archetype that we talked about. If you're going to replace Chubb, you're going to do it by committee. You're going to have 2 or 3 guys that can rotate in and out, that are quick, that have hands, catch the ball to the backfield, and you run by committee. The rest of these names on this list, truthfully, look like practice squad guys, maybe Muhammad Diabetes here, Diabate from Utah, just because absolute need may force him into action if he ends up making the team. But most of these guys truly look like they're probably not going to be on an active roster come day one. Outside of maybe Ronnie Hickman.
Yeah, my favorite in this is actually Lonnie Phelps from Kansas. He's 6'2", 245. Had real high PFF grades all throughout college. A lot of pressures on the quarterback. I like him. He actually did get rated as a good backup and potential eventual starter. I like him coming out of this thing. And then I also really like Ronnie Hickman because he's got a dope ass name. So I hope he makes a team and he's a starting free safety this year because that'd be dope.
Yeah, he's got good size for the position, and again, he's one of those guys that's played in meaningful games, So I think that experience, when you get to that bubble level of the NFL, probably gives you an advantage over some of these other guys that, if you went to Albany, for example, like
Yeah.
You might have good measurables, but you never played a football game.
You don't know what it's like.
Anyone.
You don't know what it's like. That'll do it for the undrafted free agents here, which takes us right into a reminder to give us a call on the Burning River Sportscast Hot Take Hotline. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. Agree with the draft analysis that we just had. Disagree with it. Agree with the undrafted free agent analysis. Disagree with it. Tell us what you think about the dog logos. Kenny, what else should
I want to know is about the dang dog logos. And don't tell anybody that you agree with Ronnie. Tell everybody you agree with me because I picked the better logo.
No, your logo's ass.
Your logo's ass, and it looks like it goes in an ass.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, that's a different one. That's a different one. Sorry. Anyway, 330-227-8080.
330-227-80. 330-227-8080. Call now. And don't forget to stop by thetapinmedia.com/shop and visit our shop that has all of our wonderful merchandise. Kenny, point at your hat.
That's good advice, Ronnie.
Yeah, that hat right there. And that dope flag behind you. Nice. Very nice. Got the dopest podcast cover in the game on it.
Can we sell these? Can we put Burning River?
Will people buy? I'll be in the basement and cutting them out. Yeah, no, we won't sell those. But anyways, Kenny, what can we expect in next episode?
Next episode will be back here in 2 weeks. Ronnie will be back in the studio. We will cover any breaking Browns, Cavs, and Guardians news, keeping track of the Guardians season as it goes on. And we'll see what else happens. I mean, we got this scheduled game and stuff coming up that we'll be able to play. So,
your favorite game,
have an interview or something.
Your favorite game, the scheduled game.
But that's what we'll do in 2 weeks.
Yep, and don't forget to check us out on social media. Tap In Media is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Tap In Media. Burning River Sportscast. That's this podcast is on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Burning River Sportscast, and on Twitter at Burning River Pod. And don't forget to check out the actual podcast wherever you get your podcasts. I'm talking Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Castro, Good Pods, and so many more.
So many more.
Kenny, you know what time it is?
It is almost dinner time, but it's not yet.
It's time for
Facts for Days.
All right, Kenny, make this quick. What do you got for me?
I'm going to make this as quick as I possibly can, but these are mind-bending facts. Playing with dinosaurs in your darkness. I was born in the darkness. Quick sidebar. I won't take too long on this, but we were watching Peaky Blinders, and my wife goes, "That guy sounds like Bane," and I was like, "He is Bane."
You just did not get it.
Anyway, facts for days. You were playing dinosaurs, you're little. And every kid learns some names of dinosaurs, and like when you learn them, you feel cool.
Velociraptor.
What's like the three dinosaurs that you'd learn as a kid though?
Stegosaurus, T-Rex, and Triceratops.
Triceratops is good. I was going to say Brontosaurus, but yeah, I'll throw a Triceratops in as honorable mention.
The old long neck, nice.
Yeah, think Land Before Time. And in our minds, we kind of just think like dinosaurs. They all just like hung out together and had a good time, right? The T-Rexes were just chasing the Stegosaurus. He's whipping him with his tail. Brontosaurus is eating leaves. Well, truthfully, the Tyrannosaurus Rex lived 68 to 66 million years ago. The Stegosaurus lived 155 to 150 million years ago. Meaning the time gap between Tyrannosaurus and Stegosaurus is 82 million years. So we are technically alive closer to the time of T-Rex than the Stegosaurus.
Bro,
than the T-Rex is to the Stegosaurus.
You mean to tell me that Land Before Time is not based on a true story.
Not historically accurate, no.
Not in the
Ducky
slightest.
went out.
Dang, you gotta be kidding me. My whole world's been shook right now.
See, you're shook. How about this one? Try this on for size, Ronnie.
Okay.
The number one producer of tires in the entire world is
Akron, Ohio.
wrong.
It used to be. It's not anymore.
I was gonna say a company, but
Goodyear.
Just a city. Goodyear. Wrong. It's Lego.
Their little tires count?
The toy company produces approximately 306 million tires per year, far more than any other tire manufacturer in the world. They may be tiny toy tires, but the fact remains.
Still counts.
Still counts. Okay, this last one's a little bit
That
longer.
was a good one.
That
That was like a trick one. That was like it could be a tire, but it could not be a tire. Like you would have never thought of this tire because it's a tiny little tire that goes on a tiny little car.
That's right. Now your mind is blown. I'm gonna hurt your brain one more time. This one's really gonna take you for a spin. So bear with me. It's gonna take one quick second to just get through the details, but afterwards, I promise the payoff's totally worth it. So, many, many years ago, in the year 1674,
Ooh.
there was a man named William Blunden who was married to a woman named Alice Blunden. His wife was a fat, gross woman who accustomed herself many times a day to drinking brandy. One day, she imbibed herself into an absolute stupor on an enormous quantity of poppy water.
Oh.
And fell into the deepest of sleeps, from which no one could awaken her. Doctor was consulted. I think it was an apothecary at this time, probably.
Oh, nice. Did he wear the nose?
Probably. And
Nice.
it was concluded that Alice Blunden had died. Her husband, William, had urgent business in the city and left instruction that her funeral should be deferred until his return. But Alice's family said, it's the summertime, it's real hot, and she's real fat, and the corpse just isn't going to hold. So it's going to just be impossible to keep her. We got to put her in the ground.
Of course.
So without further delay, we buried Miss Alice Blunden. A few days later, boys who were playing nearby heard a voice from a cemetery. Those voice continued until we dug up the body of Alice Blunden. The body was said to be found to be most lamentably beaten, which was thought to be the result of injuries inflicted by Alice on herself in her own confinement, being that she was buried alive. Being unable to detect any other signs of continuing life, they lowered Alice back into the ground overnight, poured the dirt back over her, and the next day, we hear voices again coming out of the ground in the cemetery.
Just getting wild, man.
So we dig Alice Blunden and her body back up out of the grave. And we bring the coroner and we say, this woman has died at least twice. But we keep hearing noises, so we got to do something. So they bury her, take her out, and they open it up. And when they open up her coffin, is that she had torn off all of her clothes, scratched herself in several places, and ripped off her own mouth. So at this point, she was definitely dead. The coroner found that her life had been thrown away and bound over several persons. That eventually no one was convicted of anything, but the town did face a considerable fine for their neglect. This woman was buried alive twice. And she was so mad about it, she ripped off her own mouth.
What?
Yeah, so this fear of being buried alive is a very common fear, and so this eventually led to the Duke of Ferdinand of Brunswick before his death in 1792, having the very first safety coffin installed. This coffin had a window installed to allow light in, an air tube to provide a fresh supply of air, and instead of having a lid nailed down with a hammer, he had a lock fitted to it. And so this became really, really popular during ensuing centuries because of stories like this. This was a really bad one because they screwed it up twice. But there were a lot of other reports of people being buried alive back during this time because apparently these apothecaries and these doctors weren't very good at determining whether people were alive or dead.
They wore giant noses.
The crowd couldn't see. People were still breathing. So despite all the technological progress in coffins, there's not a single known case of a safety coffin actually saving the life of an occupant. And there can only be two reasons for this. Either everyone was put away dead as intended, or more worryingly, they didn't work. These would be... Essentially, they had an air duct and a bell and a string. And so if you wake up inside, you're supposed to ring it to let everybody know you're still alive to get you out as quick as possible. But that woman got buried twice, bro.
Bro, I want a safety coffin.
Yeah, you're going to want one now, don't you?
Yeah, I want one. I want a safety coffin.
There's nothing worse than that. That is a huge problem. And if you're going to be a part of the problem, don't just settle for being a part of the problem. Be the whole damn problem.
And only you can prevent river fires. Burning River Sportscast.
Burning River.
I gotta go enjoy my vacation, man. I'm out of here.
Burning River.
Burning River Sportscast. Burning River.
Remote pod.
Burning River.
Burning River Sportscast.
Because you drove a Hyundai to get here tonight. I drove an $80,000 BMW. That's my name. What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Erroneous! Erroneous! Erroneous on both counts. Oh, Lord.
I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy. Motorboat? You play the motorboat? You motorboat son of a bitch. You old sailor, you. We're through. That's right. We're through. We are through forever.
Today's episode was brought to you by RafflePress. RafflePress is the best WordPress giveaway plugin, period. Grow your email list, website traffic, and social media followers with viral giveaways and contests. Click the link in our show notes and download RafflePress for your WordPress website now and supercharge the rate at which you acquire a following.